G'day everybody, welcome back to another video on this channel. Today we're going to be discussing why I gave up gaming and why you should too. And now, so I've split it up into about 3 different reasons, and without mucking around too much, I'm just going to jump straight into it. So reason number 1 is dopamine, and it's the dopamine reward system. So as you can see today, I've got the whiteboard with me, so we're just going to be using this to try get a bit of a clearer demonstration. So the first thing we have to understand is the concept of dopamine. And what dopamine is it's a chemical that's released by your brain that is like a reward system for your body. And the problem with this is that it tries to form certain connection with tasks that will release dopamine regardless of whether or not it's painful or harmful to you. So take gambling for example. So let's say, a common one is the pokies. So let's say you're on your pokie machine, right? Here it is. You got the slots. I don't know. I don't really even know what the pokie machine looks like. But let's say you put in $50. Right, so you've put in $50 to this pokie machine, and let's suppose you actually win. And out of that slot machine, you won $20 out of that 50. Right, so you've got $20 that you have supposedly won. So when you win this, you're still going to feel excited, even though you're $30 down technically. Then you're still going to feel excited because your brain will release dopamine, and your brain says, yo, when you win on the pokies, it's all roses, baby. And then the next day you go, you're like, oh man, I'll just put in a small amount this time. So let's say you put in $5 again, right? So the next day you just put in $5. It's not much at all, right? So you put $5 in, and out of that you get $10. So now at this point you're thinking, wow, I just put in $5 and I got $10 out, right? So your brain is actually going to, it's going to choose to say that, you're going to feel excited and you're going to be like, yes, I won, I doubled my money. When in reality, over the last 2 days you put in $55 and you only walked away with half that amount. But your brain just won't realize it because it's a dopamine release and it's linked to when you win on the pokies, and that's what your brain is going to try link it to. So regardless of how much you put in, whether you put in $200 one day and you only bring out $100, and then the next day you bring in $20 and you get $50 out of it, you're gonna only remember the stuff that you win. And that's going to be bad for you because you're then going to get dopamine rushes whenever you do that, right? So, and this is exactly what happens with gaming too, right? So I used to play a ton of NBA 2K, and it would have this system where when you play a game in the park, I'll just clear my page here. So it had a system where if you want a game in the park, it would give you what's called rep points. And now, so it would only be a very small percentage, and it would be this bar that fills up to 100%. And yeah, okay guys, so just as a little side note thing, just passed about the 4-minute 55-second, my screen recording actually stopped working, so I lost the second half of the screen recording bit. So I think I might just bear with me. I might flash up some of the things I drew on the whiteboard, and you guys might just have to follow along through the audio. But if it's a bit disorganized, apologies for that, but I guess I'll just have to see as I'm editing it. So anyway, back into the video. And when you reached 100%, you then got to go up a rank. So say you were rookie 2, you would then go up to rookie 3, right? So every time I won a game, it filled up this bar by, let's say, by the rank that I was at, it would only fill this bar by about 2% each time I won a game, right? So each time I won a game, I would get this dopamine rush, and I'd feel happy. Not because 2K just made me money or because it improved anything to do with my physical self, but it's because I was closer to achieving a fake sense of reward. Like outside of the game, would anyone really care that I was a superstar rank? No. And this just leads me into my next topic. So topic number 2 is just the productivity and value of video games. So for me, video games just didn't provide any value anymore. When you play games, you really need to think to yourself, is this going to give me something I can physically use, or will this make me a better person? Because most of the time the answer for me was just no, it wasn't going to. So getting my player to 90 overall may have made my playing experience a bit better, but really outside of the game it was just a waste of my time, and it didn't make me a better person, and I couldn't use it in any sort of way. So don't get me wrong, if you want to commit to making a career from gaming, whether that be a streamer or a YouTuber or an esports athlete, then by all means you can definitely dedicate time to that, because your goal from it is money, right? But in terms of recreational gaming, I just don't see myself in a career of gaming, so I decided to divert my time into a few different things. For example, learning marketing, photography, videography, making these kind of YouTube videos, keeping myself mentally and physically well, and a few other side hustles as well, because they can all provide me with value, whether that be earning money or providing me with happiness or learning a new skill. So I remember one school holidays, I really fell in love with the game Fallout 4. It was an open world game. It was a great game, and this was bad for me because I remember checking how many hours I had spent on one of my worlds, and I had actually spent 148 hours. It's a very dodgy 8, but allow it. I spent 148 hours on one world. And when you do the math, this equates to 7 days straight. That's just 7 days straight of gaming, right? So just think about that. Like, that's insane. That means in theory, it's equivalent to spending 7 days straight on a game that gave me nothing in return. And this was the same story with Fortnite when it came out. I remember some people racking up hundreds of hours on Fortnite, and I myself actually put up about just under 100 hours. And on 2K, I reckon I put up easily around 300 hours. Like, I used to come home from school every day and play 2K19 or 2K20 for hours on end. And what do I have to show for it now? Like, pretty much nothing. Whereas on the flip side, if I, take those hours and increase, like, for example, on the flip side, when I take some of those hours and if I put it into exercise, then what do I have to show for it? Well, my body is in great shape, and it promotes blood flow in my body, and it increases the efficiency that my body can use oxygen. So exercise has major benefits mentally as well, and it can provide a stress outlet. So you guys see what I mean? And now the third reason I quit gaming, which is probably not much of a surprise, is actually money. Gaming is very expensive. So not only games now cost, upwards of like $80 for the disc game, they can cost like $99 minimum for a digital game. But developers have now found a way to make money, in my opinion, that's worse than pay-to-win games, and that is cosmetics. Now, I know a lot of people will probably disagree with me on that one and say that pay-to-win is way worse, but at least in a way it provides you with value, right? Like, you pay money to the game and it gives you a slight advantage on top of everyone else. But cosmetics, on the other side, provide like absolutely no value rather than visual appeal. So this issue becomes especially damaging when it becomes a bragging right to own a huge collection, right? So, for example, Fortnite is probably the greatest example of this. I remember personally experiencing, like, I'd watch, like, people would, like, their reputation and their social status was being upheld by the size of their skin collection, and, like, which cost them, like, seriously hundreds of dollars when you think about it, because, skins, like, if you wanted to buy V-Bucks, then it's not overly cheap. Say a skin would cost you like 1,500 V-Bucks. I'm pretty sure that was like $15 back in the day. Like it's not that cheap. So, and this becomes an even bigger issue as well with rarity of skins too, because people would literally wave their credit cards at the screen when, like the I think it was the Reaper skin would drop, and people would just be like, take my freaking money, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, like, when you put things in perspective, $15, you can spend that on like this one Fortnite skin, right, which provides you with no value. This is first time writing on a whiteboard. My handwriting's not that good, but we'll ignore it. Or on the flip side, $15, that could get you like a pretty nice plate of food with a big drink at a restaurant, and it provides you with multiple benefits, right? It satisfies your hunger, and not only that, if you were out with friends, then you get the social benefits as well, and you got a meal with your friends right here, instead of this side where it's no value and it's one Fortnite skin, and then eventually down the road you're just going to be spending more and more money. The next time's going to be $15 as well. And it's all just going to add up, and it's going to keep adding up, and then eventually you're just going to be spending like hundreds of dollars on these Fortnite skins. Whereas each time you could spend $15 and it could get you, the benefits we talked about over here each time, which can also, affect, your mental health. But yeah, it's just crazy that people would rather, pick the other one. But anyways, guys, I feel like I could go on for so much longer, but I don't want to make this video too boring for you guys, so probably just going to wrap things up here. If you guys did enjoy this video, please consider leaving a like and dropping a sub to the channel. Subscribing to the channel, make sure that you can stay updated with all the posts that I make on this channel. And my goal is to provide you guys with value, so if you guys could show just a little bit of support, that would mean heaps. Hopefully I've helped you to have like a really good think about how you're spending your time gaming and whether it's hindering you or not. But as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.